live from Japan on GNN, the Global News Network. Japan Journal with Mal Adams. Japan Journal, the Internet's #1 English language weekly online cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal with Mal Adams. And a very pleasant good day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Japan Journal. I'm your host, Mal Adams, here on the Internet's #1 weekly English language online cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal coming to you live from beautiful downtown Kakegawa City from the Media Arts Lab here. And we are scheduling an unscripted and unscheduled broadcast here for you. A bit prematurely, but we got a lot on the table. And let me deal with some of the issues at hand here. Initially, we have a breaking news urgent story for all of my viewers, followers, and subscribers here in Japan primarily. You can look at my timeline on Facebook and see the breaking news story in Japanese. And for the foreign residents here of Japan who are watching our show, let me just share this information to you. According to Shizuoka Prefecture, around 5 p.m. today, a second infected person was confirmed in the prefecture. The infection was confirmed in a man in his 50s who lives in Kanagawa Prefecture. On the morning of the 7th, he headed to Kakegawa Station on the Shinkansen. That's right here in my town. That station is 7 minutes drive from my door here at the Media Arts Lab. Coming in from Shin Yokohama Station at 8:16, he boarded. He changed to a conventional line, which is the JR line, the Japan Railroad line, and he got off at Fukuroi Station, which is 2 stations down from Kakegawa. He reportedly moved to a home by taxi from the station. No one seems to have been with him, according to the report. And in the city of Fukuroi, he used the same commercial facilities twice on the 8th and the 9th. This commercial facility is not a convenience store, and it means that the man did not wear a mask when he used that facility. Now, I'm not sure exactly. That's a machine translation, so it's only about 85% clear. So that could refer to anything. I'm not sure whether it's toilet facilities or public facilities such as the toilet or the train train station facilities. On the 9th, he became ill, requested an ambulance, and was taken to the hospital. He developed pneumonia and was admitted to an infectious disease designated hospital. Currently, oxygen is being administered. More on this story as further details become available. And boy, that gives us a little bit of concern here, because until one day ago, there were no indications of anybody having contracted the disease in this particular region. Now we've got 2 here in Shizuoka Prefecture, and 1 may well be hospitalized in the hospital up the hill from me, which situated right between Kakegawa and Fukuroi City. So we're watching that story. Everybody, you know what to do. What can I tell you? I'm here in the Media Arts Lab, but this is what we do. I've got a contract job coming up in the neighboring city of Hamamatsu in a matter of a few hours. So this is the way we roll here these days in Japan. I suggest you do the same thing. Now, in terms of caution and precautionary measures, my good sister Karen Anton sent this urgent guidance to limit the spread of the coronavirus, or COVID-19 as it's called. This is an update and a thorough guidance explanation. And you can see that at the top of the timeline on my particular Facebook page. Healthcare system capacity, a lot of clear and concise, easily understood information that will help you help yourself. All right. Now let's get down to the business at hand. This is a breaking news report a few hours ago. I'm going to take this mask off because I can't hardly hear what I'm saying here, but shout out to Terry Miller, my homegirl, and my dear friend and colleague who visited me here in Japan with her Golden Girl friends, sisters and brothers from my hometown, converged upon Mal's Bar for the 2014 Mal's Bar Rock Your World Tour, about 6 years ago now. And Terry has been a frequent contributor to the blogs that are posted here on the timeline. We share information. Terry did me a good solid here. We have fact-checked a story that she told me about, and we found that Joe Biden's comment calling for electing Trump was not simply another in a series of gaffes which have gone viral on social media, but was indeed an excerpt of a statement that was not completed and was posted out of context. Now, Japan Journal errantly shared the video without fully fact-checking it, and we regret that error. So we are making this retraction, and as of this particular program, we will post a video that was edited and posted, and then we'll make a retraction by posting the actual video and the true context in which it was recorded. Now, I made the comments pertaining to the video to suggest that my personal choice is Bernie Sanders, and that I thought that Joe Biden was getting a little old, showing some signs of lack of congruity in his speech, and maybe showing, according to other suggestions, some signs of dementia. We won't go into that now because in fairness and in deference to the error that we made, I'll just make the report and set the record clear on this particular broadcast. So, without any further ado, let me just give you this background. Twitter and Facebook took action to discredit a viral clip of Democratic presidential candidate and former Vice President Joe Biden that made it appear as if the politician was endorsing President Donald Trump. Twitter labeled the video as, quote, manipulated media. Now, I had a problem with the word manipulation as a long-time digital media editor and video editor. If you're going to manipulate the medium, that means you're going to enhance it with certain special effects and things that were not natural to the original image. So that was one thing that threw me off when they labeled it as such, because what I saw and what I heard is what came out of his mouth, for real. But editing it and posting it out of context is a whole nother issue. It's disingenuous. It's dirty tricks. So now Facebook flagged it as, quote, partly false information, which is a more accurate reference in my estimation. So it was a nomenclature discrepancy there that threw me off, because I know fake video when I see it. Trust me. I'm getting ready to show it to you very clearly here on this particular episode of Japan Journal. Now, in the 13-second clip, which was shared by White House social media director Dan Scavino and retweeted by Trump on Saturday, Biden says, quote, "We can only reelect Donald Trump." Boom. And the video cuts off there. Well, he didn't say that even as much as clearly as I said it, or fluently as I said it. It was consistent with his recent gaffes, but like I say, I'm not going there. So, to continue, the footage came from a speech Biden gave during a rally in Kansas City, Missouri. The full video reveals that Biden said, quote, "We can only reelect Donald Trump if, in fact, we get engaged in this circular firing squad here. It's got to be a positive campaign, so join us," end of quote. Now, the moves by Facebook and Twitter illustrate where social networks draw the line when it comes to political speech, sparking a debate about whether the companies are taking the right approach to combat misinformation. Democrats have criticized these companies for not pulling down altered videos in the past, and Republicans view labeling as a way social networks are suppressing conservative speech, and an allegation that these companies have repeatedly denied. So I'm going to let them fight that fight. That's getting a little bit off the point. What I'm here to do today with regard to the posting that I made is to set the record straight. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Biden clip number one, the short clip, which was posted and then reposted by Donald the Chump. Check it out.
You want a nominee who will bring this party together, who will run a progressive, positive campaign and turn this primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks into one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me, we can only reelect Donald Trump.
Wow. I'm not laughing at him, but I mean, it was funny. He stammered and stuttered, and then his own rally people laughed at him. But let's do him a solid here and correct the record. Here is clip number two, the way the speech really went down. Check it out.
You want a nominee who will bring this party together, who will run a progressive, positive campaign and turn this primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks into one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. Excuse me, we can only reelect Donald Trump if, in fact, we get engaged in this circular firing squad here. It's got to be a positive campaign, so join us. Folks, we're building a coalition. We're building a coalition that most successful presidents of our lifetime, Barack Obama, had started. We're doing it. Bring together Americans of every race, every creed, every economic background, Democrats, Republicans, and independents as well. I believe we will deliver to a moment where we're in a position that not only can we defeat Donald Trump, but we'll have an opportunity if we think big enough and bold enough to build a future this nation needs and deserves.
All right, that's a little bit more fluent and a little more coherent than what was posted. That's a damn shame, though, that they would do that to him. That's dirty tricks, and it's got to stop. All right, moving on. With regard to this particular story, and please accept my apologies for errantly posting, repeating, and sharing that fake video as it stood. Okay? Please accept my apologies. We'll be more careful. I'm one who advocates fact-checking, and I got caught up in this time because I'd seen so many of this kind of video on Joe Biden, but we'll leave it right there. Now, thank you very much. Shout out to Gordon Walls, Clarence E. Jones, and Evelyn Hart, my brother Joe Levy in California, Pamela Campbell, Yancey, Rayford Jones, Janice Thompson, and S.J. James for shouting us out here on that particular posting that we made with regard to our intent to retract our initial posting on this story. And Brother Joe Levy chips in. He says, dirty tricks aside, Mr. Biden isn't campaigning. He's limited to 7-minute speeches. He's being handled the same as Ronald Reagan was in his last dementia-ridden term in office. I ain't mad at you, Joe. Tell the truth. That's what it looks like to me as well. All right, moving on to the coronavirus here, another breaking news story. As I posted, this is a must-see. If you scroll down on my timeline, you'll see this particular story. This is a must-see. You're not getting this kind of analysis in the USA under Trump's lack of leadership. The scientist, this particular scientist that I'm featuring here, does not believe the mainstream news accounts of what is really happening. You listen to the video and you be the judge here. Dr. Chris Busby shares his analysis from Riga, Latvia on the January 2020 coronavirus outbreak. On the question as to whether or not the virus has been engineered by man, Chris refers to the New Delhi University report suggesting that there may be 4 deliberate AIDS-type insertions in the 2019 CoV renamed COVID-19 by the WHO, World Health Organization. Spike glycoprotein. And there's a link there for you to go to get more details. But Dr. Busby writes, I don't think any thinking person believes that the future is secure for humanity. The future is bleak and may well be orange, a color of deserts, poison, contaminated water, nuclear explosions, and death. Since the realization in the late 1950s that the Earth's environment is rapidly degrading as a result of human activity, there have been few attempts to deal with the overall problem. There has been no real new ideological analysis since Marx, whose historical class approach has not been valid for a long time. Yet, such an analysis is not difficult, but is most necessary. There is no new flag that those who are watching the destruction of their future can stand beside. The early Green Party made an effort, and indeed, I was involved in that, but it tried to deal with the problem from within the problem itself and missed some important clues to the failings of, quote, democracy, end quote. All right, you click on that video and go check out that story. Very important in terms of what's going on now with this pandemic. It's bigger than an epidemic, it's a pandemic. And we need to take caution and be very much concerned about this and have an open and transparent discourse about this particular crisis. William Stark out of Kobe here in Japan comments that this current coronavirus could be a test run for something really nasty. Well, I'm not so sure what could be more nasty than this thing if it gets out of hand. But we need to keep studying the issue. Following that report further down on my timeline here, another breaking news story. Coronavirus was produced in a laboratory, says CIA agent, a former American counterterrorism specialist and military intelligence officer of, captions, click on the story below to see more. Israeli scientists have claimed to be close to developing a vaccine for coronavirus that could be available in about 90 days, saying that they have developed an effective vaccine against avian coronavirus infectious bronchitis virus, IBV, which is to be adapted soon and create a human vaccine against COVID-19. Read the full story below. Timothy O'Brien, who's registered, he's based here in Japan. I've met him once or twice, came out to Mounds Bar some time ago, but he's an often contributor to my blogs, indicated SMH, as in shaking my head, quote, have you verified this website? Is it Nigerian? Well, I responded, no, I think it's Irish Catholic. That's Mr. Timothy O'Brien I'm talking to. What does it matter? How do you verify a website? As compared to what? The Washington Times? A white conservative racist rag where the reports originated? It's a shared news report just as I am doing here. And just because it is called a conspiracy theory doesn't mean that it's not true. Take in the information and then do your own research and verification of the information, not the Nigerian website. SMH, shaking my head. Read the 2 other reports above which tell both sides of the story. Then you be the judge. The truth as to the cause of the virus is not being reported. And I believe it is known. More on that story as details become available. Terry Willis says, whoever can't see this has been living under a rock their whole life. Terry Willis also replied, let's see. Aaron Farmer says, Terry Willis, this became so apparent to me when the mysterious community transmissions now started popping up. Oh, and that hotel collapse that killed a bunch of people being quarantined. Says Terry Willis. That was very strange and bizarre to me, too. It's not the virus that scares me. It is the way they're handling it and lying about it. I'm with you on that, Terry. It is the way they are handling it and lying about it. They are still lying about the AIDS virus and don't want to admit that it was man-made. Speak on it, Terry. They were warned about, they were warned about the way they were cultivating the poliomyelitis vaccine. And even though poliomyelitis was an epidemic among American children, they forced the Congolese under Belgian rule to be guinea pigs for that vaccine. Eastern Europe was also a testing ground. They tested it in a small area of America where the children were mostly minority and POC. Many of them died. She puts a link there to a story, the best documentary ever about the origin of AIDS, etc. So I suggest that to you. Look on it, and let's get some background history on this entire situation. Beverly Wright Passetti says, AIDS, Ebola, coronavirus, all made in the lab. I'm with you there. Highly suspicious. Okay, then the next story below that on the timeline, out of Goldsburg, North Carolina. Until people stand up and say that rapid poverty and income inequality in the U.S. is wrong, we won't have fundamental change here. That is according to Senator Bernie Sanders, independent out of Vermont. He told the New Poor People's Campaign. Rolling with Reverend Barber at the New Poor People's Campaign, Sanders joined that march, that movement, and that meeting. And what do you say you gave his support for that particular campaign? The right thing to do. I didn't see Joe Biden or any of the other candidates of late go down there, but I may be wrong. All right, then that's going to do it for what's on the timeline right now on the Brother Mal Facebook blog. Let's check up and see who else has checked in recently. Aaron Turner, Ed Collins, and Craig Johnson shared my post. Thank you very much for sharing that. Dale Veazey, my cousin. Jan Jeffries, my sister, from back in Philly, I believe. Percussionist Supreme. And 14 other people reacted to the post on the breaking news. Elijah Ali posted in Political Education, homeboy from Omaha, Nebraska. Gary Willis, my good friend, longtime classmate at Central High School, same school. Phil Robertson and 9 other people reacted to a link that I shared. Always consider the source of information. Let's go there because I do want to share that with you. It's important, and it has a lot to do with what's going on with the lies, the conspiracy theories, and the dirty tricks associated with the campaign, which are well underway from the Republican camp, mind you, and reminds me of the Nixon years. Lots of dirty tricks went on. What the caption says on that particular post is, always consider the source of the news reports and then do your own research and fact-finding, which I failed to do sufficiently on the piece, which I posted a retraction at the top of this show. Always consider the source of the news reports and then do your own research and fact-finding. Just because they are labeled as conspiracy theories doesn't mean they are not true. And then I go into the story about the deadly animal virus epidemic spreading globally may have originated in a Wuhan laboratory linked to China's covert biological weapons program, according to an Israeli biological warfare expert. Don't poo-poo it. Research and find out if it's true or not, and then let the people know what's going on. We just want to know the truth. All right. Elena Beck out of Las Vegas tells me, I watched a video yesterday where scientists actually said it was a biochemical weapon and it leaked out of China and that Russia is involved. Beverly Wright Pacelli tells me, I agree, Mal. Diane Thomas, word, double exclamation points. And Aaron Turner says, this is a test run. Could very well be, yo. Could very well be. All right. That's going to do it for this particular broadcast, y'all. It is, going on, it's 6:12 in the morning. It is Wednesday morning on March 11th right now. I've got to be in class at 11 a.m. in about 5 hours, so I'm going to get 2 hours of sleep. Get up at 8:30, I'm out. Jump on the Shinkansen in Fukuoka, where that guy passed through within the past 24 hours. We'll be careful. Got my mask ready and my hands and my alcohol spray for my hands and got plastic gloves. I'm good to go. What I did want to share with you, though, is that at the time of this particular broadcast and recording, it's 2:13 in the afternoon on yesterday, Wednesday, that would be Tuesday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Los Angeles and Omaha, Nebraska, my hometown, 16:13, that's 4:13. In New York, it is 5:13. In Honolulu, 11:13 in the morning. In Denver, 15:13, that's 3:13 in the afternoon. And in London, at the time of this recording, it is 9:13 p.m. on yesterday, that would be Tuesday evening. Shout out to my people in Denver. I'll be in Denver for the World Tea Expo and Conference the first week of June. My birthday, June 10th. Be in Omaha, Nebraska on the 6th of June for a couple of days. Look forward to seeing all my home people there. If you happen to be around, come on in. I'm going to, it looks like I may be awarded or inducted into the Omaha Press Club Hall of Fame. Not for publication just yet, don't think. All right, y'all. Stick and stay. Don't you dare go away. This is Brother Mal coming to you live from beautiful downtown Kakegawa City in the Media Arts Lab here on Japan Journal, the internet's #1 weekly English language online cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal with your host, Mal Adams. Peace and a pound of hair grease. See, you wouldn't really want to be you unless you're right up in here in Kakegawa with us. But some of y'all won't want to come now that we got a victim of the who's contracted that virus. Yeah, we'll keep you posted. Thank y'all. Love you madly. And I'm out. Drop the mic. Japan Journal, the internet's #1 English language weekly online cybercast from Japan. Japan Journal with Mal Adams. Thank you.